What's up, guys? Welcome back to another installment of the SkullTank podcast. I'm your host, Frank the Tank. Skull Tally is dealing with something at the moment. He may or may not jump on with us later. Join with me today is my esteemed guest. You might have seen him recently. He was in the main event of an exciting Muay Thai title fight that went to a split decision against Pepsi Man. Y'all probably seen him on his many OnlyFans accounts. He probably has. The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Infantry Inc. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. Been wanting to have you on for a while now.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I've been tuning in here and there, so this is pretty good. I'm all caught up.
Are you really? Damn. Well,
yeah.
Our output's kind of waned because there hadn't been too much to talk about. So we're hopefully gonna pick it back up now that the summer's over.
Yeah. If anything, stock up on recording so that way week to week they can probably get some in the future.
Hey, there's a fucking idea. That's being proactive. We don't play like that. So let me ask you, man. I know that you're a bit of an OG with this thing, the same as I am. So what was your introduction with these UFC games?
Man, I don't know what age everyone started. I'm 28 right now. I was into it. Man, this is coming out of a WWE kick, right? When wrestling kind of died down for most people, including myself, I picked up MMA, which was always really around because my uncle was big time into martial arts, and then he got me involved into martial arts, and then there was just a whole fascination with it. And then when mixed martial arts came around, I've seen like the old stuff back when they used to wear shoes still. You know what I mean? Like the one where it was really no rules. So with that, when the games came out, '09 was my first UFC game. And when I say I played the hell out of that, I wish I had a way to track on my old Xbox account how many hours I put into it. But I probably put in, I don't even want to predict, but I would say 2010, I probably put in the most hours of the 3 games. So, I mean, I've played, and ranked was always my thing. I actually preferred ranked more than exhibition. Ranked was my exhibition.
Right.
Yeah.
So you played 2009 back when the servers were up?
Oh, yeah.
So how old would you have been then? You had to have been 12 or something?
Man, so '09 probably came out. Did it come out in '09 really?
I want to say it came out 2008. It came out before my son was born. He was born in July of 2009 because I was playing it before he was born.
Yeah, if it was 2008, I would have been 13.
Okay, so you were an Xbox guy, correct?
Yeah, well, I was at everything. I'm not just one. I try to live by the whole, try to have them all type of thing. So I was mainly on Xbox, but I was everywhere.
What was your gamer tag back then? Did you have one or many or?
I shared some with my brothers, right? So
because we would have had to have crossed paths on these games at some point. Because I was especially in '09, I was super into the ranked.
I had 3 that I know of on the account that I played on, because I always kept the account no matter what. My brothers always had to make a new ones to keep, but I kept the rest. But it was Guzzy 21, which I didn't pick. The other one was, I believe, Bronx Boys 28, because that was something for me and my brothers, because we're all from the Bronx, and I don't know, just a number, I guess. And then the third one, if it wasn't IR528, it was definitely the phase where like I claimed the account. You probably saw me as like little Johnny D, because at the time it was like, oh my god, you look like Johnny Depp. So I was like, I guess that's an alias.
I like it. Yeah, I was Fulcrum Point FTT was my name back then. And yeah, I don't. I remember a couple of gamer tags back then, especially like the number 1 ranked people, but I don't remember a whole lot of them.
But do you have photographic memory?
What's that?
Do you have photographic memory?
Hell no, I have barely functioning memory.
I have like slight photographic memory. Like there's certain things I could just look at and be like, yep, that's the one. Like I can glance at something when I'm like watching, and then I'll remember it and then call back to it later. It's helpful for like fights and stuff.
Well, it's probably good for your video editing, I imagine.
Oh yeah, dude, I can notice a pixel offset. Like, it's so bad.
So you started in you were 2009, and then you said you played 2010, and then did you jump right into 3 when it came out, or it was how'd that work?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't even remember how I even got it. I think maybe my parents at the time thought, because I had the first 2, right? Forrest Griffin on the first one, Brock Lesnar on the second, and then the Anderson on the third.
So you were probably like 15, 16 when UD3 came out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that was when I was like heavily interested to the point where like I was trying to do it myself. You know what I mean? So
Gotcha.
that was like I think I got it around the first. I want to say within the first 3 months of it being out. So like I was on it like really quickly.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's. I think if we, especially the OGs, it seems like there's just fewer and fewer of us are involved in the scene anymore. It's like, man, like there's so much happened back then where I feel like we owe it to kind of lay the groundwork for some of these newer players and like let them know like what hey, this is what it was like back then. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of people they tend to look at that stuff through rose-colored glasses. Like, oh man, I bet it was so great when it was all online. And the
Yeah.
original servers were up, and I bet it just everything was wonderful. And I'm like, you guys have no idea how janky ass these servers were and all that kind of shit.
Yeah. The people who would disconnect is one thing, but the servers, man, like, and that was back when, at least for me, I don't think people were knowledgeable about how the internet worked and how like having a wired connection was way more stable than a Wi-Fi connection back then.
Yeah, because everybody was Wi-Fi was a new thing. Everybody just thought, oh, if you ain't got
Yeah,
Wi-Fi, you're stupid. A wired connection is like I think they thought it was like dial-up in their brain, but even now we know it
yeah.
works way better.
Especially with knowing your speeds, right? Like now we know our speeds enough to be like, well, I have this much download, this much upload, my ping is this, because that's pretty thrown in our face now, and the times have changed. But then I didn't do any of that stuff, and I could have had horrible internet at the time, and I would be complaining about like it being laggy and it's the stupid game, and it was probably me, honestly. But yeah, it's just it. Oh man, the horror stories and the when you're on a streak, especially, and then you get that one fight that you're like, man, if it wasn't lagging, oh, and then it ruins your streak, it ruins your mood. You cry about it a little bit inside, and then you just hop back in.
It's a feeling that I don't think a lot of people will get to experience, but it was extremely frustrating.
Oh yeah,
So
I'm just glad the game was good.
yeah,
Uh,
that's just and if the game wasn't as nails as it was, like man, we wouldn't be reminiscent about this shit. You know, what I mean, there's plenty of crappy games that came out that we I mean even MMA ones, but like this game is just so fantastic that we persevered through all that bullshit.
oh yeah, and this, I want to say actually, a little fact for online gaming in general, but I believe, God, I'm going off memory here, could be slight wrong on the dates, but it was just after Christmas time that 3 would have came out, right? So somewhere January, February. And then if it was 2012 or 13, that's where I have to fact check myself. But on PC gaming in general, because that sort of expanded at that time. And around 2013 to like 15 was like the era of like early access games. People want to complain about the games now not being finished, and
Right.
being janky when they come out. Then the games were more complete when they came out. So it was very different to have a fully functioning game. But like that was one of the games that were like last fully functioning games besides the online servers. But like just the game mechanics kept you in at all times. And then just after that is when, gaming started getting a little bit like early access. Things
Y-
not really being complete yet. They're still
That
working
that's
on it.
That's a great point, and yeah, because nowadays people are conditioned to where if they get a game, they know that it's going to be a hobbled together piece of shit, like No Man's Sky or things
Mm-hmm.
like that. They know, like
Yep.
man, like that game 3 years in is unrecognizable from the product that was initially sold to the person. And now people
Yep.
have a understanding of like, well, we got to give these people grace. And unfortunately, a lot of companies like EA, they predatorize on that because they'll
Oh
just put
yeah.
out this piece of shit broken product, and they're like, oh, you guys haven't even given us a chance to patch anything or whatever. It's like, but you've had 5 previous EA games and you didn't patch shit on those either. Like they're every bit as dog shit if they as they were. Like it's a broken product is a broken product.
Yeah, man. I especially like we didn't know how good we had it with THQ doing these UFC games.
Yeah,
Like, and THQ did the wrestling games at some point too, if I'm not mistaken. Like they
yeah.
they had their hands dipped in a lot of combat stuff, and without them and EA taking over one thing and 2K taking over, they might as well be the same fucking people. Like it's just wild right now.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how all that panned out, and it was very much the same to me. Like when I was younger, was when all the THQ wrestling games, or it was AKI back then. It was like No Mercy and all those games, and like
Oh yeah.
little did we know, like, because it was like an exciting time because you had Dreamcast, Xbox, and PlayStation and all this stuff come out. Little did we know, like, we got the best wrestling game that we would get for like 20 fucking years. You know, some people
Yeah,
still argue that
right.
it's the best one, and it's like this. It doesn't even make any sense. And UD3 is very much like that. It's like, man, we had no idea that we topped at a game right there. You know what I mean? Third time was the
Yep.
charm in this particular case.
Yeah, that you could even go on YouTube to this day and see people make their points and arguments about what this game has that the current UFC game right now, whether it be the most newest one that came out or the one previous, what would that be? UFC 4, right? There's
Yeah,
5
UFC
out right
5.
now.
Yeah, five's out.
5's out right now, so even 4. You can hell, you could even throw 2 and 1 in that, in this particular thing, but like they still don't have that UFC Undisputed 3 has. And there's something about it that's the reason why we're here right now, just like still playing this damn game.
Right. It's like, occasionally car companies will like have like a couple like there's some early 90s Porsches, right? That were like air cooled or whatever, and they're pieces of shit, but like people pay fortune for these cars, and they pay a fortune to mod these cars because there's just something special about those cars, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's very much like that. It's like they can make a game look better than this, sure they can. They could put all this glitz and glitter on it, but at the end of the day, there is just no substance to these games. And I've given all of them a chance. As a matter of fact, EA 5, the most recent one, I had early access on that. I played it for several hours, and I actually got where I was even kind of quasi proficient at it. And I'm like, it just wasn't fun to me, and it just
Hmm.
everything felt so clunky and
Stiff.
yeah, just very stiff. No, even when
Yeah.
would knock somebody out, it didn't feel very satisfying. It just seemed like wow, that just kind of came out of nowhere. It wasn't really like there was no storytelling in the fights. Like as far as like, man, I was really working my jab to try to set up this cross or
Yep.
whatever. There was nothing like that. But like we watched fights like just happened with Starzo and Corey. Like, dude, the amount
Oh my
of
god.
emotions that went into that for not just them but everybody watching and everything. Like, there was so much storytelling going on in that fight. Not just the build up to it, but actually in that fight, you're like, oh shit, man, because you knew what the stakes were. Everybody knew what was up, because it played very much like a real MMA fight.
Yep.
Because that's how damn good this game is. It's like, man, if this dude gets one more takedown, it's probably tied in that fifth round. Corey gets him down once, Scarzo's fucked, and we were all like nervously biting our nails watching Starzo try to fight all these takedowns off.
Yeah, especially with like you think it's gonna go this many rounds because of like they're 2 rounds in. Oh, there's no way he's gonna get out the third round. It goes to all the way to decision, and it's like, well, damn, and it just like real life, you never know when things can just like end or it can. Hey, guys can come back. That there is a way out. Can they see it? Can they do it? Can they pull it off? It's possible. It's like the new game. I don't even know how to properly paint the picture with my words here, but the new game, I feel like more graphics just makes the game a lot stiffer, a lot more animations to go through, and with that, you're kind of limited to their rhythm of how they made the game. Whereas to UFC, you can create your own rhythm, and that's what gives people styles. You have people who can throw in feints, and mind you, there's 2 different feints in the game. There's
Right.
there's a proper feint, and then there's one where you press the shoulder button, and you can just kind of show that one move and just stop it. And so you're creating your own rhythm. I think I saw somebody last event who I definitely took notes of, but they were
Spliff.
creating. It was Spliff. He was creating his own rhythm by doing all these feints and then also stepping in, stepping out, stepping side. Like
It
he
was
was
beautiful to
moving.
watch. Yeah.
Yeah, I took notes, dude. I shouldn't say too much because the possible people here listening, but
Right.
no, like he was creating his own rhythm, and with these new games, it's like you're locked to the rhythm that they provide for you, the players.
Yeah,
So you can only do so much.
that knockout that he got. I don't remember who he. Hell, I'll pull it up real quick because I got the fight results in front of me. But we should definitely shout him out on this because so much crazy shit happened on that card, and the way it ended with Starzo beating Corey. I feel like a lot of people, their greatnesses got overlooked a little bit because man, his knockout he got was something fucking special.
Artist.
Was it
MC.
artist? Yes,
Yeah.
dude. He set that shit up and just juked him out of his fucking shoes. And
Yeah.
artist didn't do anything wrong. He did what the prescribed response would have been to those movements. But he sold him a false bill of goods and then came up and fucking clocked his ass. And it was like, holy shit, man! Like, and that was the second time in a row that he had to fight artist in Muay Thai. It was just the weird way it worked out. And yeah, he looked fucking incredible, and he's definitely somebody to keep an eye on, especially in the striking department.
Yeah, striking. I'll even say right now, fighting him because looking back at it, yeah, I fought him earlier. Like, I don't know how to explain what was going on because like I'm so in the moment in the game. But if I had to just like word vomit what I was thinking at that point, but he was like figuring my game out as we were there, and I was like, if I don't adjust and figure him out, he's gonna get me.
Right.
And I'm glad my pick supported what I wanted to do because he catches on so damn quick. And I'm thankful that like I try to pride myself in being well rounded everywhere, right? I like to show what I want people to know and then what I don't want people to know. But now we're in BKB, so now I'm like, well, you're only so limited based on who you pick and if you can really pull it off. He was getting me so much, I was like, nope, I got to do something. And thank God I had Dominic because I was able to just be quick enough to respond. But if I didn't have someone who was quick enough, he would have got me. And
Yeah,
my
and you
BKB
got him
record's
out
all
kind of
over the
early,
place.
if I remember correctly. I believe it was the
round
first round,
one
wasn't
with
it?
What was it? It was a counter straight or jab that just KO'd him. Like my God, listen. If I would have lost that, I had no complaints. You know what I mean? Like because he was figuring me out big time, and I was
Yeah,
like, oh God.
and I definitely want to see. There's a lot of matchups I want to see him in Muay Thai in, but you and Spliff in Muay Thai would definitely be a good one. And I also want to see him fight Ant. I want to see him fight a lot of people, man, because I saw a lot of innovative shit that he was doing, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how that matches up against other people.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a shout out every time in my fights going forward if I fight the way that I want to fight now, because he gave me ideas, man. I was like, how is he even doing that? And I went and I tried out some stuff, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, on
okay.
a 12-year-old
So
game, man, we're getting shit and we're getting ideas in real
yeah,
time from people still. That's fucking crazy.
you know what it is? Is I tried so hard, and maybe other people are doing this too. So maybe this is like a double-edged sword, giving this like piece of advice out, but I'll do it anyway. But like when we're in the UUC and watching the event or fighting the event, we don't see our stamina. That HUD being disabled really does make you focus on the fight, but it doesn't make you focus on the mechanics of how the game works. So that's your responsibility to go in the lab and actually like put the HUD back on and see everything you're doing and how it affects your stamina, so that way you can know what you can do. Doing that changes if you can understand the mechanics and how we're playing on simulation, so like the stamina drain is different, the recovery, all that stuff. If you can just see, each fighter's different, so you really have to like know the fighters themselves, but you have to see how to fight your fight, and then you can know how to respond to certain people the more you fight them, because you know all there is to know on your side, on the mechanic side. But if you can know that and then apply it to the actual fight, oh, it's you're learning every single time. Every single time. If you're not learning, you're not growing, and if you're not doing that, what the fuck are you doing? You know?
Exactly, and I was hesitant about the no HUD thing. Because man, I really loved having the HUD like when I was playing, because I would just be I'd just be body shotting people and just get their stamina low. But Pimp talked me into it. He had me trying it out a little bit, and I gotta say I love having no HUD, dude, because
Yeah.
you have to really develop a different feel. You have to really watch every little animation that's going on. Like you said, like it's like you gain like a one step different understanding of what's going on in this game, and than you would if you were just relying on, oh, it's real easy to just look at the bar and see like that guy's got 50% stamina and you got 70%. But it's like if you're in there watching the animations, like when Starzo and Corey both got back to their feet, for example, it was like round 2 or something right before, because Corey had been taking Starzo down and was beating the shit out of him. And then they got back to their feet, and there was like 30 seconds left, and you could tell Starzo knew immediately just
Yeah,
from the
he was
body
gassed.
reaction. He's like, "Oh, I got this motherfucker right here." You know, and that's those are the moments they wouldn't be as dramatic with that HUD up there.
Yeah, yeah, it's them learning the game's body language, which you know, you can argue is kind of like real life. You know, you can't be in your head all the damn time. You have to know how to react, and having that bar visible, you know, kind of lets that dictate how you fight rather than watching your opponent and really going based on how they react. And you know, oh, he's gassed. Oh, you know, I'm getting him gassed by letting him try to fight this transition out or keep him down. Like it's just learning the game's body language, and I prefer that over having people see the HUD and let that dictate how they fight.
Man, speaking of innovations in a 12-year-old game, man, what do you think of all this crazy shit we've been having happen lately with people using modded controllers and controller applications?
Man, I didn't want to believe it. I already deal with enough, man. I'm a battle royale player, so like playing those games and knowing being a super gaming nerd, right? I like to know the ins and out of games. And there's some times where like you're able to see stuff and you just feel like the boy who cried wolf all the damn time. I didn't want this to be true, but I also know that it had to be possible, right? And to find out that that was a thing, I'm like, oh God, here we go again. You know, like don't ruin this game for me, man. Don't do it. Well, why? You know, and people, whether you want to see it yourself or you want to stay in denial, I don't know, but you can't have any excuse really make up for the fact that you gotta keep shit fair as you can, because you know this is so rare for us to have. This community is so rare to have. You can't have anything tarnish this, even if it's, you know, a slight. Just, you know, why would he go through so much trouble in a 12-year-old game and, you know, for no money? That's not an excuse. You know,
Right,
people do it on free stuff all the time.
right.
It's fucking ridiculous. I mean, go back to, I'll use PUBG for example, but like, yo, half the player base, half, more than 50%, that's a fact, look it up, over 50% of the player base on PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds at one point during its peak was caught cheating,
That's wild.
using cheats. That is fucking ridiculous. Granted, a lot of them was overseas
It's
and
like the
there
fucking
was
Tour de
action
France
being
going on
taken.
over there.
Yeah, it was really bad, and you know these anti cheats in games, and yeah, we were talking earlier about, you know, games working and not working now. You know, like the era of early access. We're kind of entering that era of early access again with all these games that are incomplete, and with that complete game, you have more vulnerable, you know, anti cheats that doesn't really pick up stuff. And with modded controllers, the modded controllers have been a thing for years. Like it's possible. It really is possible on an old game. But there's already mods on the game to, you know, make it what it is today. Like don't put it off. You know, it's
Yeah,
just it's wild. It's still a thing.
yeah. I think that's the biggest thing for me is it's like it's just so against the spirit of what we're trying to do here. That I don't know what some. I mean, I'm assuming just people's motivations are that like they just want to style on people. You
Yeah,
know what I
it's
mean?
just,
And
you know,
nobody wants
bragging
to get
rights
their
for
ass
self.
kicked. Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
like, do you really want to whoop somebody's ass at this, knowing that you did some janky shit? You know what I mean? Like it seems really weird to me. And I've never been though. This was like really the only game I've been into since it came out. I've got a couple little games I play every now and then, but I'm not really like a gamer. So I had to do a lot of investigating and learning the last couple of days to figure out like what the fuck is you know what I mean? Like when I was a kid, like
Yeah.
there was turbo controllers and shit, but I felt like I mean hell, those even kind of fell out of favor. Like they used to be really common to have a turbo controller, but now like it ain't like you see them at Walmart or anything. So I had to like look into all this, and I'm like, oh man, you don't even need an actual like they do make modded controllers obviously, but then like they may even make just programs you can run in the background. They make all kinds of different shit.
Yep. They make little adapters. It's funny because right before this happened, when there was, you know, first little hints now and then, the first thing I like to do is look up on YouTube any possibilities that this even exists and how it works. And they don't just make controllers or programs. They make little adapters, like little boxes that you plug into. So you plug your controller into that, and then that into your PC or your console, and it's like a third-party device that it has to run through and do shit. And sometimes it helps protect them from being noticed, or different. It could be designed to be different for everything, but like it's not that it's impossible. You know what I mean? Like you can't. It's just it sucks. It fucking sucks. It
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, and I was blown away with because I found I don't like I said I don't know what method this particular person's using per se. There might be a multitude of things because this person said that they also cheat on 2K or whatever it is. So it sounds like they're pretty deep into the shit. But I mean,
Yeah.
I was able to download a program, and within like 5 minutes time, I was able to, and I don't know shit about any of this stuff. I was able to get the thing going and was able to duplicate what they were doing. And I'm like,
Yep.
oh, okay. I'm like, man, there's a whole ocean of shit going on out here. But I think largely it hasn't been an issue. I think in UD3, particularly in sim mode, because you all like what's the mod it's going to really do for you? Is it going to make you punch? Is it going to make the punch button punch 9 times in a row? Like that's not really going to help you.
Yeah.
This was really the only feasible situation in the game where I felt like you could actually get an advantage from a modded controller. I noticed that this person was not doing BKB or Muay Thai because there'd be no advantage there. They're only have an advantage if there's double leg takedowns involved.
Yeah. And I saw that once there was even a proposition to bring that person back and do only those disciplines, and if that wasn't taken, that only shows more of like a really like why are you ruining this right now? Like you just kind of expose a little bit more of yourself and denying it even more when you're given the opportunity to possibly just stay in these disciplines instead of that. Because yeah, it's beatable, right? But it's too much of a thing because you're gaining a dominant position, and it could affect how the fight goes.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's still green in a lot of his other skills. What
Yeah.
happens once he gets top control that's akin to something Pimp or Hamslinger can do? Everybody's fucked.
Yep. That and,
Yeah,
and that's the thing. That's the big picture that some people refuse to kind of see. On top of, I can't imagine how the staff feels, and I even put this, in there for the community. Like, the staff has to make the important decision. Like, no matter how cool the person may be when you talk to them and all that, like, it's just the fact that the bigger picture is keeping it fair when we don't have to be doing this shit.
exactly.
We don't have to be doing this shit. The fact that people look into this, they don't have to look into this shit. We're doing it like it's so. God, I wish I could like just harsh on this or just get it through people's minds how rare this type of community is, and how little decisions like this is what possibly could make it last longer and have the good times be just a bit more longer
Yeah,
than
and
something to just up and just fading away.
And I look at it to like say if you're trying to run like a really nice nightclub, right? And you really want a lot of people to come in. You want a lot of girls to come in. You want a lot of people to come in there and spend a lot of money, dude. If you just got fucking a bunch of jackoffs fucking running around slapping drinks out of people's hands and shit,
Possibly passing some drugs around.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
dude, that's gonna run off the fucking good people, and
Yep.
that's what I don't want. I don't want a bunch of fucking jackholes in here just trying to mod shit just so they can fucking dunk on people and fucking act like there's something. Because God knows we've seen enough of people coming in here and doing the least amount of fucking cool shit ever and then acting like they fucking moved mountains or something and running their mouth about it for fucking 9 months. So like
Yep, I know what that feels like.
And then, those
My
people are,
God.
they're always so quick to burn bridges and, oh, fuck you motherfuckers and all this kind of shit. But then, like, it never fails. A couple fucking weeks later, they come crawling back, begging to come back in. I'm like, dude, you guys have had your chances. You know what I mean? You felt like showing both sides of your ass and doing all this, and we've tried to give you guys bridges to come back and just let you guys know, hey, this ain't the kind of shit we're doing here. You know, if you want to do that shit, go somewhere else and do it.
Yeah, it's man, it's one thing to be doing that stuff. It's one thing to have this type of character and shit talk for the sake of competition. But if you don't have that off switch to kind of separate the two, you look like a fucking asshole. It's just not fun, like that's how it started with me, really, because like I didn't like listen. I'm a pro wrestling fan. I think most of us in here know what pro fucking wrestling is, and whether it was good or bad now or good or bad then. The point is, and sometimes the shit talking can get to a certain point where it's just like just being funny, and there's even a trash talk section. So go ahead,
Right.
by all means, go ahead. But when you can't fucking listen to just basic rules, and you just want to have an ego and look like fucking Megamind with a big ass head on a fucking online video game, you just ruin it. Like
Right.
I myself even just didn't want to take part of that shit anymore because there was like no off switch for some people, and I'm just like, listen, I'm already like I come from a different world than most people I've seen in there, and that's not to say anything's less or better than, not that. It's simply the fact that we all are gonna interact with these characters online.
Right.
I had to deal with my fair share on a community known as Twitch. You know what I mean? So like, and sadly, most of everyone knows that there could be fucking characters on there. I pride myself on being, myself. Like, I don't change who the fuck I am for anybody, and I do every part of my life. So if I see someone who's just pretending to be something they're not, it fucking sucks the fun out of everything. And I'm just like, I'm just done with it. I don't want that part. Like, I know how to shit talk, turn it on, turn it off. That's it. Keep it there. But now add that with like any type of cheating or just not being able to turn the character off and just like be a fucking basic human. Like we have something positive here, so let's kind of focus on this and not whatever the hell they're trying to. It's weird. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, this is supposed to be something that's fun and sustainable and is fostering growth for just bringing new eyeballs and attention to what we're just a super fan of, which is UD3, and that's, I think a lot of people don't share that same they don't share that same spirit, and if they don't, if they just care about, if they just happen to like this game, but they also, their main motivation is just being a fucking jackass. That's fine, but I don't have a problem with that. But don't do it here. That we're just not gonna. We're not doing the same thing. So if that's what you're interested in doing, you're gonna have to fuck off somewhere else. We have only banned people really for, like, I don't care what your fucking political affiliations are. I don't care if you use pronouns. I don't fucking care about any of that shit. We really only ban people for being constant fucking annoyances or just constant fucking jackasses like that. Yep. And you know what you're doing, and nobody's ever been blindsided when they've been banned from here.
If they have been, my God, they are probably the most hard-headed. Just, oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, there's
take a lot. It shouldn't take a lot.
No, dude, and they're still, once every couple weeks. Oh, we should bring back this person. We should not.
That only makes me like write that person's name down in my mind and go, gotta watch out for you, because
right.
if you don't see the shit and why that person's not here, like, and you're the one asking for them back, and you mean it, like, it's one thing to joke around and say that, but if you actually mean that,
right,
well, you have no idea, and I'm glad you're not the one running the shit.
Well, and it's sometimes you just, people get these ideas in their head, like, oh man, remember when so and so was around, he would say all this wild shit, and it's like, hey, let's call that guy back up. It's like, no, that guy also fucking set your house on fire. You know what I mean? Like, or like having some crazy ex-girlfriend or whatever. It's like, dude, like, yeah, just because you get bored and lonely don't mean you want to call that thing back up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
exactly.
That's what a lot of people, I think a lot of people just get bored, and they're just like, oh, let's bring fucking so and so back. Wouldn't that be funny? Like, no, it would not be funny. It would be a fucking pain in my ass if that happened.
Yeah, I just hope that, I for the sake of all of us, that stays to a minimum with like individual people. There's shit that can stay it's like Vegas, right? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Like that could be UUC, you know, involving some things with characters and how they want to portray themselves and being able to turn it on, turn it off. Yeah, cool. But like if you want to just bring that shit out of UUC and make that shit personal, and whether it be dangerous or a little just too crossing the line, get the fuck out. Just
Yes.
stop. Just stop.
So let's change gears a little bit. We'll probably come to like the fourth quarter of this thing. So you came off. You've been doing a lot of work in a lot of different things right now. So you've been doing well in MMA. You've been doing well in Muay Thai and BKB. Uh, is there one of those titles that means more to you than the other one?
Um, man. Honestly, you know, I came into this not even wanting to do much of the MMA stuff. Mainly because, like, I spent a lot of the time on this game when it was actually still running, doing, you know, what the game provided. And I had to, you know, adjust and fight. And again, I like to pride myself on being well-rounded. I kind of just want to, if this community presents the opportunity to just, like, put one side down a little bit so I don't have to, like, you know, focus too hard on just that thing. I wanted to just mainly do the striking one. So Muay Thai and BKB like just stood out to me. But, you know, when I started doing MMA, I almost did better than I did in BKB.
Right.
I'm like, oh damn.
Yeah, especially I mean
So
you did really well against which would on paper be the nightmare matchup for you against somebody
Whitey.
using a modded controller to fucking
Oh,
spam
that.
takedowns on you. You know what I mean? And you still won.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that too.
it's like, dude, I just if you're striking so good and your general ability to stay safe against what is on paper the worst matchup for you, like I really like your chances in MMA. Honestly, I mean, to be at you're at number 7 right now in the
Yeah,
fucking Shark Tank, dude, it's so hard to even get in the fucking top 10 right now because you seen what was going
yeah,
on at the Shoney Carter Invitational. Like that shit was a fucking who's who of people that none of them were even in the fucking top 10. So for you
yeah,
to be where you are, dude, like you aren't you know what I mean, depending on how matchups and things happen, like you are not far from that if that's something. But it seems to me like striking seems to be obviously your main thing, but
yeah. Like at the first and second MMA fight, I think I came in as a replacement, and one of the first ones I did was against Ligma, and like just losing to that when I know I'm better, I'm like, oh my, I never want this to happen again. Like now, like truly, like before, I'll treat getting a title as number one always, right? Because that's a great opportunity in itself, bigger picture thought, right? But for climbing ranks, it's not about me climbing. It's just the way I climb. I don't even have to go against someone above me all the damn time. I want to right my wrongs. I want to see myself grow. You know what I mean? Like
yep,
Fighting Pepsi, I will say, you know, all the controversial shit that I believe aside, what that did for me in my mind was show me, listen, you've gotten the closest anyone has as of right now. So now you can say that you're at least number two. Right all your wrongs in this division. Every loss you've had, which granted, both my losses are to Pepsi, but like I'm looking at the people who I lost to in the other divisions. I'm like, make sure you stay better. Make
right,
sure you stay better than every single one of them, at least, because that continues to show your growth. No matter how many times you have to fight for a fucking title, you keep doing it. And then in the other divisions, I'm kind of like the same thing. I want to right my wrongs, fight the people who I lost to, so I can see growth. And then once I have that down in my mind, it's only gonna fuel me up for that title fight. You
right,
know, you know what get like my one of my favorite fights, besides the Hamslinger one, because I think that was my best showcasing of what I can do with a character that I know in and out. But a fight where people can also see on paper that like, oh, he probably doesn't stand a chance, because it's like watching a boxer fight a wrestler, right? Which is the one with Whitey, because I thought you were
right.
gonna say that before, because you guys said it was a striker versus a
Yeah,
grappler.
you've actually had two nightmare ones. Yeah, because Whitey doesn't use modded controllers, obviously. But yeah, Whitey fought for the title in SFC against me, and he was a bad motherfucker, especially at one point in time.
Yeah,
He lost to Abbas, and he was never really the same again. But I mean, he still knows how to shoot a mean takedown.
Yeah, and that fight, as soon as I heard that he was a grappler, I was like, okay, so now people can, if I could pull this off, people can see that, I can hold my own against someone who can grapple. And I was able to reverse him and really just like, in my opinion, only me here talking, I showed a little bit of dominance that no one thought I was going to do. Like, if anything, they thought I was going to stay on the back foot at all times, up and down, where it was just, me being able to outstrike, but then also reverse and get the
Yep.
advantage and dominant position on the ground. Like, that was one of the best fights for me, honestly.
Yeah, it always that whole fight looked like Whitey was walking into a trap. Like it was just like a whole series of traps that you were
Oh
setting
yeah.
for him the entire time. That was probably your most impressive performance because you did get a finish and stuff. I think just it's just also equally impressive that you beat a guy that we all know has unstoppable takedowns because they were using a fucking mod. That's kind of
Yeah.
wild
Yeah.
too, and it's
Dude,
also
I
kind
felt
of
at the beginning with that takedown into side control.
yeah.
I was like, God, but then he could have kept me there, so I was like, keep going, keep doing
Yeah,
damage,
we,
keep
we
doing
pointed
damage.
that shit right out on the broadcast too, and then to
Yeah.
have Nightdown played against him, and Nightdown's like, no, this is fucking bullshit. And it's like, dude, you got me, you, and Nightdown who have literally been playing. I was an alpha tester for UD3 for fuck's sake. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
Nightdown's been fucking playing forever. You've been playing forever. It's like we're all like, nah, like this doesn't happen. You know what I mean? It's like somebody entering the Tour de France and they beat everybody by like fucking 9 hours or some shit. It's like, dude, this doesn't happen. You know what I mean? This isn't a
He wasn't. He wasn't beating everyone. That's the best part.
look what the trash drug in. What's up, brother?
What's up?
Let's
We
go.
we can actually officially call it a SkullTank now since both parts are
There you
here.
go.
Yeah, like he wasn't beating everyone. That's the thing that really bugs me about the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a
It,
waste of his time.
it's crazy too because he could have had such the advantage, man. Like, I almost don't want to like say too much and give too much compliments, no matter if he was a chill person or not. But like, he for the potential that he just showed, and even just being there, like going against him, like, damn, like that could have been so bad. But thankfully, it was like I think one thing I will say is I think the fight from Pepsi also taught me that the game doesn't give a flying fuck about any numbers but damage. So if you're
Yep.
not doing damage, it doesn't matter. And it's not even overall damage too, because like again, I did the math. 113 to 115 is a 2-point damage difference that can win a fight. So if damage is all they care about, especially in a specific location, get the most damage to one part of the body. Obviously, that being more the fucking head or body, unless you want to catch some legs too. Then do it because that's what the game really wants. So everyone, whether or not they listen to this, they need to fucking listen to this. But like, that's how you gotta win. If you want to, if you feel like you've been, and trust me, this is from me who has gone to decision more times than he wants to. But like, in order to win those, do fucking damage and just block. I have a bad habit too, and I'm trying to work on it. Like, I see it, but you got to. You can't just you can't be eating them shots. You gotta just do fucking damage. Take them down or clinch. But use the clinch more, even to cause separation. Just God. That's all I gotta say about that.
You still with the
Yeah, you
skull?
saw what happens. You saw what happens when you use the clinch to get separation. It works.
Yeah,
It
that's
can.
kind of crazy
It
because
can.
you two both had the closest fights with Pepsi for sure. Like Skull took him into deep water, and then you definitely Skulls was about as close as you could get, and then you got even closer. I feel like.
Yeah, man. That's another. If we want to go even a little bit into it, like, man, just the fact that I got him to do the body animation, I knew I was like right up on him, and I believe there was, if I remember correctly, it was a 9-point damage where I had 79 to the body, he had 70, so that still shows how close we both were in that. The fact that I gave him an animation as well. So like I was trying to chip away, man. I was freaking, and that was my first time using that guy too. Like I was, if anything, the part that no one knows is that I was actually planning on using bots. So when he picked it, I was like, fuck.
Oh no
Like,
way!
yeah. So he took the guy I wanted. I thought he was gonna be the bigger fighter and try to, use the strength to hit me less in order to just chip away at the damage.
I would have
But
loved
when
to
he
seen.
chose Oz, I was like, fuck.
I would have loved to seen. You have GSP and have Pepsi get like whoever his best guy in that weight class would be.
Hey, I offered, man. I offered. It was like, because all the bullshit aside and people's, argument with the pep step and all that bullshit. But if he wanted, like, I would have shut the fuck up forever if he would have, even hearing him on the last podcast, because I told you I'm all caught up. He said, he wants all the type of challenge. He'll put it on the line if he has to fill in for a fight. He'll put the title on the line. All that shit. So with that being said, if he really wanted to test himself, and because he said he was impressed as well, if he wanted to fight me at my best and still beat me, I would have fucking never said anything about him ever again. Like, you got it, dude. You fucking got it. You locked down the division. You got it.
The secret is that I don't have a best. I wing it.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen. We haven't seen Skull at his best. I don't think. I don't think he knows what his best is.
I mean, if that's the case, he still beat my ass in MMA. So
yeah,
he's
Skull secretly, Skull secretly will go down 2 levels, then come up 3, down 2 levels, up 3, and he's kind of been doing that.
I have one upset left in me.
One, and then what? Retirement?
Is it going to be Starzo?
Oh, dude,
Ooh.
I upset him already. I could do it. If he gets the business done, I can do it. I made him run. If you watch that fight, I made him run the last few seconds.
Hey man, roll a dice. And, just if it lands on a specific number, just like, oh, I'm doing it today.
So how we feel about? Looks like it's probably going to be Starzo and Himoth next. How you guys see that shaking out?
Honestly, I mean, all signs kind of point to him at having the edge, I guess. If anything, I'd say Starzo. It'll be more shocking to me if Starzo's able to pull it off with Himoth.
If you watch that fight, if you watch their first fight, watch some of the things on the ground. Starzo was reversing the fuck out of him with Derek Lewis, and that was just like a troll pick. I think he's gonna do way better this time. I think he has a chance.
No doubt, but I just feel like Himoth's fucking. I don't know, man. He adapts and he's on top a lot right now for a reason. So I'm kind of like, ah, damn.
For me, if Starzo makes a smart pick, he'll probably beat him.
I think it's always depending on who you pick to support how you fight, and how to negate, their fight. You want to fight your fight essentially, no matter what they bring. So
Himoth does a great job of his character picks, and Starzo always picks these weird people, but they're good for him though.
If I'm Starzo, man, I would let Himoth pick first because that's what he's been doing. I've been watching. He waits till the guy picks, and then he picks the perfect counter pick. Actually, in my fight with him. I hate to keep bringing it up, but he actually went on my character stat and looked up the stats of my guy, just so he could get a perfect counter pick. So if I'm start,
that's always the most. That's the hardest thing for me, honestly. I don't want to hold up the time and take forever to pick a character, but sometimes I get that. I actually have a list on my phone of everyone and little notes to myself of every division and who, and I even highlight them, and I have it open every time we're choosing a fighter. And every time we get the class, I'm like, shit, what weight class is this again? And that's always the hardest part of every single match I have. Not the fight itself. It's always picking a character because I'm like, shit, who did I use last time? Okay, so then who should I? Oh god, I don't know. This one. If I make a wrong pick, I'll feel it, and I'm like, shit. And I just get my ass whooped.
Man, there's part of me is as much as I want to see Himoth versus Starzo, and I definitely do. There's part of me that wants to see Himoth versus Corey more.
Yeah, honestly, oh man.
Even though that's not
Corey,
for the title.
If he wants that rematch, man, like that's a worthy rematch.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm interested in that.
The rematch or him and Himoth?
Oh no, the rematch.
The rematch, yeah.
I think it'll. I've never been a big fan of immediate rematches in anything unless there's like some kind of egregious fucking foul or something like that. But I think when they do fight, it's gonna be a big fucking deal. I think a lot of people are going to be jazzed for when they finally do fight, even if it's not it for the belt. You know what I mean? Even if they both fall off a little bit, like I think when they finally do rematch, and it will happen, I think it's going to be a bigger deal if we let it simmer for a little while.
Yeah, I could also see like if it doesn't happen right away, I could see it. Starzo defending, whether he fights that card or not. But I could see it happening for like number one contender if he ends up dropping it on the next title defense, and now it's a part two to Corey and him, for number one contender for whoever has a title. Like I don't know, I see multiple situations, not just for the title or a rematch right away where they can meet again, and we'll see another banger.
I would say that the last person to defeat Corey's in this room too.
That's right, he is. Man, what a win that fucking turned out to be. Jesus.
Oh yeah, all my wins are turning out to be great, man. Jesus, I'm like the hype train killer.
Yeah, I'm also one of your wins. Thanks,
My
man.
Oh
I'm
yeah, you
also one
beat
of your wins.
yeah, you beat infantry too, dude. What the fuck are you
Yeah.
doing, Skull? And Skull
I would have
loses to
thought my
fucking he loses to Executioner number two though.
right, and who would have thought my worst win this year is Sunwave?
That fight was wild, dude. That was the one you guys played on Pinky's host, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, that fucking card.
My God,
Oh my god, that was wild.
that was so crazy.
Iceberg is getting bigger. I just can't believe we had our first cheater.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
man.
we we talked about that a little bit while you were off, man. It's just really I think the big takeaway me and infantry had was just like it's just so anti the spirit of what we're doing here, and I think that's why it pissed us off so bad.
Yeah, yeah. To me, the thing that pissed me off is that he wasted like his own time because he had a 500 record with cheats, which is like, why would you even seek them out if they're like effective and are like one part of it.
Yeah,
Number two, his defense is that I cheat in other games. I can't cheat in this one. That
yeah,
really pissed me.
Yeah, which is a wild thing, and I said that if people still make it, defenses on that person, like they're not seeing the bigger picture at all.
yeah, yeah. I only rob liquor stores. I wouldn't steal from you.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like the fuck, especially if like you could find the same. Oh my god, it's just so. It's one thing, and people who know, but like it's one thing to use fucking cheat engine to like change how much money you have in a single player game or something, but it's another thing to completely just cheat on a game that has like game mechanics and it affect the mechanics of the game, let alone against someone. Just stop.
Yeah,
Just stop.
if you can take night down at will into fucking side control, you're fucking cheating. I'm sorry,
As
Yeah,
Korean
like
Zombie,
at the beginning of the
yeah,
fight.
because
as
Devin
Korean
doesn't do it
Zombie,
at will. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not it's just not real. Like you know what I mean? Something's going on.
Especially if you can't record yourself playing with the damn controller, because like again, even beforehand everyone's like, oh, your picture of a controller. I'm like, a picture won't do anything, guys. You could just switch it out.
Well,
Like,
even at that, dude. Like I'm not up. I'm not up on the fucking. The only thing I know is that he's fucking cheating. I don't know how yeah,
yeah,
he might have 9 different methods of doing it. I have no fucking
yeah,
idea.
exactly.
He's very in the scene of that. I don't care enough about him to even entertain it. I just want him gone. You know what I'm saying? It's like we offered him an alternative. He wasn't interested in only doing BKB and Muay Thai, so kick rocks. That's the way I look at it.
Yep.
And
yeah, yeah, we didn't give him the chance to leave either. We just said, fuck it, let's just ban him.
yeah,
Yeah, no
if
voting that one. Just let's get rid of him.
if other leagues want to fuck with him, more power to them. But I don't want any of that fucking. I don't want any of that
Oh,
kind of shit
no,
here.
no, no. He's out. He's
Is
out
he okay?
everywhere.
Good for them then.
Just be
They
careful with new names.
they did a trap on him. It's pretty elaborate.
Damn.
Basically, what confirmed it was one guy had the same macros that you were using, Frank. Used it
Uh-huh.
against him, and he was still getting takedowns at will, while
Oh
the other
boy.
guy had macros.
Jesus
So he's on
Christ.
some next level shit.
Yes.
Well, if he even said he literally cheats in 2K to win fucking money, it's like he's probably invested a few bucks in whatever his setup is.
And the only reason other leagues entertained it was because some mods were skeptical just because they didn't want to ban a guy without evidence until they did that.
Right.
And they're like, all right, get rid of him.
Yeah. More power to him.
Yeah, I just say fuck it. There's no chance in hell that's legit.
Yeah, it's like if I can I don't know shit about any of it, and if I can duplicate it in fucking 5 minutes on my computer, that means that dude's on some next level shit. Like he knows fucking way more about it than me. But it's like
It's the equivalent of using a plaster of Paris in your hand wraps.
God.
So we got about just a few minutes left. Anybody got anything else they want to touch on or?
Oh man. I mean, we talked about certain divisions, right? Like fights you want to see. Are those all the fights you guys want to see going up? Because like we're
Yeah,
approaching the end of season 2, right?
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's your ideal opponent for number 40? If you had a chance, besides Pepsi, I
In
think Pepsi might not be there for reasons.
any division?
he might be gone for the
Anyone?
rest of the season. I think he's
No,
got
no.
some
Yeah,
family
I mean
stuff
like
going on.
for me to pick. Like, is that you
yeah.
want any
Anybody.
division?
Yeah, if you had your
Any
dream pick.
division.
Man, going on the whole writing my losses. I mean, I guess for Muay Thai, I'd go against anyone because that one, my only losses is to Pepsi. But for the other ones, man, I would like to see, everyone that has beaten me at some point. So Blessive, Ligma, Skull, you, like, just something that will show growth for me. Even if it's me fighting someone, lower trying to get into ranked or whatever the hell. Like, I'll do that too. Like, I'm not really picky. I don't give a fuck.
I
But
might give you Ligma because he's coming back in September. I talked to him.
oh
That'd be cool.
God, please! That was my first loss in MMA, so I would
Oh,
love to fucking do that.
Did
You
you
know what
not
I
see
mean?
what he
But
Like,
he's got the fiber orange now, dude. You might be fucked.
I don't give
Yeah.
a fuck. Like,
Did,
I
did you not see what
truly,
he wrote about you
I
too?
thought, I was so pissed off on that fight because like I know in that fight I'm way better than what I fucking did there. Like, I don't know what the hell happened. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I just felt like. I don't know. It's like my character ate a burger or something. He just didn't feel fast today. I was just like, "What the hell
Well,
is going on?"
not to fuel fire, but he also said you were an easy fight.
Oh, he says that after the fact. Yeah, I'm
No,
sure he was.
he said that you were no challenge. He said Himeth is the anaconda.
Sure. So if he loses, then we'll see what he says then.
Yeah.
If someone says
Frank
something
has
after the fight, nah, it's always nah.
Frank has a date for number 40 already.
Yeah,
That will announce soon.
yeah. I got somebody called me out for number 40. I think it'll be fun.
Nice.
My call outs for 40 would either be Starzo or Corey in Pride Rules, or I get my title shot. Who knows? I don't think I deserve it, but hey, man, we seen the underdog get it. I'll finish my story, and I'll finish Starzo's too,
Your finishing stories,
and finish Starzo's.
man.
I already got a new wardrobe, and now I'm gonna take the belt, so his wardrobe ain't gonna fit.
Damn.
What's your record right now, Skull? I mean,
Terrible.
MMA
I think it's
4 and
4
5.
now.
Yeah, you were like 5 and 2, or I mean, you were like 4 and 2, I think, at one point or something. You had
No, I never had a string. It was 2-1 was my best string in
oh,
that
was that what it
match.
was?
Well, technically now it's 4-4 because so this match doesn't count.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Oh man, if I can get 2 fights, one in what's it called? Probably Muay Thai and MMA. That will because I have 10 fights in just BKB alone overall, and if I have one more in MMA, that's another 10 fights.
Have
So
you
just to have one in MMA and Muay Thai, like I just want to go for like as many fights as I can.
have you and
like, the
Blessa
most.
fought in MMA yet?
MMA? No, we fought in Muay Thai when I
Yeah.
chose GSP and he chose Adesanya.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you two in MMA I think would be fun. Or there's a lot of fun matchups for you guys. Or I definitely want to see somebody fight Spliff too. And
Yeah,
I definitely want to see you in I want to see you at Ant and Muay Thai. But Ant doesn't play as consistently as he used to. But if we can
Works
somehow
nice now.
if we can
I'd be down
somehow
for
get
that.
him you and Ant on Muay Thai, I think it would be a banger.
I'd be
Yeah,
down.
we also just got someone that joined from the other league. He's like he's not a bad Czech boxer, Ivaka.
Who
I
is
like
he?
to see it with Ivaka. He's from the other league. He's
Okay,
this Russian dude.
sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shit. That'd be
yeah.
Well,
cool.
He gave Abbas a little scare, even if Abbas will say it's easy. You remember him?
well, he'll hopefully gets with a good camp or something, and he can start smashing some fools. Well, with that, unless anybody else has anything else, I guess we'll probably go ahead and end this one.
Nah,
Yeah.
just keep doing what you're doing, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for keeping this game alive. It's been nice. I got to introduce this game to my brother, so that's been cool too. So thank you again
Is he
for
coming
that.
back?
That I don't know. That because
All the
he's doing
people that
a bunch of other
he
stuff
was
as well.
all the people that was being mean to him.
Oh yeah, no, that didn't affect him at all. Like that, he was cool with that shit. It was mainly just me because I was just so fucking tired of people. Because again, just being on Twitch, like I already had to deal with characters in general. So that part, he was just like he was more laughing at than me. But yeah, I don't know if he's still interested or not. I'll find out.
Yeah. I always liked the style, so
Yeah. Be
Well,
cool.
guys, with that, this will conclude this episode of the Skull Tank, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.
peace out.